Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Stay Fit with Mrs. C, and today is going to be a very fun video because I decided to share my weight loss struggle to the whole entire world. Only reason because I'm hoping to motivate at least one person out there and make them understand, or make he or she understand what is greater than the health. Okay, so my weight loss journey started at the age of 12, and that was when I started my secondary school. And at that point, all the girls would talk about how to be skinny, being skinny is good, and whereas I was not a skinny kid. And we used to get like all these different ideas. One of the idea that I applied is that I would tighten my skirt as much as possible, and the waistline and the waist fabric was really thick, and I would just like tighten it as much as possible, and it will work like a waist trainer. But I would get like heavily bruised because it was so tight, and still I would continue to do this. Another interesting thing that I used to do is I used to measure my waist with my hands all around, and then I would measure my waist circumference with my hand and try to fit my waist in palm of my hand. And that sounds really ridiculous, but that's what I did. And you can imagine how my mentality was affected to looking skinny. At that point of my life, it was a hype that like too much protein and too much fat makes you fat, and I was in a mission to look skinny. Then I decided to be a full-blown vegetarian, not because of some kind of ethic, and I wouldn't eat eggs, I wouldn't eat meat, anything animal related or any fat related stuff. I would also eat mostly noodles and packet of crisps, saying that it's vegetarian, and one noodle and one packet of crisps wouldn't harm you. So that will be my diet for most of the time. Obviously, as a result, I didn't lose any weight whatsoever. This might sound mental to you, but I wouldn't even eat from the same spatula if it was stirred in a meat dish. I wouldn't even touch that food. I was completely brainwashed into thinking that meat is bad, protein is bad, fat is bad. Then in 2005, I gave up. I literally gave up losing weight, and I started turning towards junk food like McDonald's, and I used to eat McDonald's 3 times a week. Then I started working in Burger King, and as one of the staff perks you can get a free meal. Then I started to binge on Burger King every single day. So imagine every single day you're having a Burger King meal. What would you expect? Naturally your weight just skyrockets. And obviously my weight kept piling up, and I was feeling very horrible physically, inside and mentally, that I gave in. I kept on having junk food, but at the same time this taste and the addiction to carbohydrates and the junk food kept leading back. In the break time I could have eaten some healthy homemade food, but I didn't. I kept on going towards that junk food. When I was just 15, that point I was wearing larger size than my mom, and I was already feeling really bad physically and mentally, and very drained. I was so tired of fighting with the weight battles. That's when I decided to work out and cut out all the junk food and stick with homemade, mom-made food. What happened is, most of the time, yes, I was eating more protein, but it was still high amount of carbs. And what I used to do is eat one meal a day, that is homemade food. Then rest of the day I would just fill myself with a bottle of Coke or soda. And the reason being that the carbonated water makes you full and suppresses your appetite for longer. And it's not a great idea. You should not be doing this hacks. You should not be doing this fad diets, and this is called yo-yo dieting, and this is absolute no. And I'm not trying to encourage anyone. This is just my simple life story. I'm just trying to raise an awareness and share my experiences with you. Again, coming back to the topic, that the diet soda and not eating all day and eating only one meal a day, that gave me a lot of bloat, like painful bloating. And I forgot at that time, I didn't have the capacity why I was having bloatedness, and I used to feel like, oh my God, there must be something wrong with my tummy. I'm just not being able to shed any weight whatsoever, and I'm so bloated, and I'm unhappy, unsatisfied with my food because I eat only one small meal a day. Then I gave up. That's the point that I started again junk food and started to go back to my old habits. Soon after that, I went to uni. Then you know what happens in uni. You are just trying to mingle with friends, try to make new friends, and all you do is you eat, you comfort yourself, you surround yourself with foods, restaurant foods, and all the other things, and you don't even have time to cook. And well, most of the people might have, but I didn't have. Okay, I was busy, too busy. When I noticed that I was piling up weight like crazy in uni, then I decided to join uni gym and started running like mad in a treadmill for around perhaps 45 steady cardio, and still I didn't shed any weight. My scale didn't move whatsoever. Soon after I finished from uni, then my husband taught me how to do it correctly. I started working out. I started doing heavy intensity interval training, strength training, weightlifting, and eat 5 meals a day. Okay, 5 meals a day, and that consisted extremely low fat, medium protein, and high carb diet. And yes, miracle did happen. I did lose weight and tons. I lost around 25 kilo, and I was really, really fit. I got really fit. That was my prime. After 2 years looking fit and feeling fit, I got pregnant, okay? And postpartum, I gained tons and tons of weight, and even more than 25 kilo. Then I was desperate. I decided to take desperate measures because I wanted my body back. I guess I was feeling a little bit depressed that I wasn't fit enough. I wasn't physically fit enough, and I was back to square one, how I always felt, ugly and overweight. Then listen to this, and please do not do this. I'm only sharing so that nobody else does that mistake, and nobody else even dares to take those kind of desperate measures, okay? So what happened that I did, which is insane, I started looking into water fasting, and which is technically a starvation diet. And I read one study saying that this person monitored a group of people who was kept in a starvation mode, and still they didn't die, but they lost tons of weight. And I was full enough. Yes, I was full enough. I took that measure. I started my water fast, and it actually led up to 6 months, and I'm not proud of it. I lost tons of weight. I lost entire 25 kilo, but I had so much of a damage in my body. I had metabolic damage. My whole skin was absolutely messed up. I had lots and lots and lots of spots, which I'm still recovering from. And then I had really bad skin. I didn't have any suppleness whatsoever. I looked very aged, malnutrition, and horrible. My hair started falling out. My hair didn't have any quality. My skin didn't have any quality. I looked really old. Even my grandma said, "What's wrong with you? You look really old. It looks like you have aged so much." then that's what hit me, that okay, I'm not doing good, this is the point where I'm supposed to stop. I ate only 6 times in 6 months. I'm not even joking. I'm not even making this up. This is real. I ate only 6 times in 6 months, and I managed to lose 25 kilos, and I didn't die, but it was worse because I had malnutrition and all the other underlying issues. Then I stopped, obviously, like I said, and I went back to homemade food and all the other things that I wanted my glow back. So what I did is I started eating homemade food. But here's the thing, right? I starved myself for 6 months. Then I gained 4 or 5 times faster than I ever did. Okay, like my body just soaked up everything, things that I need and things I don't need, and I just blew up. Okay, the same top that I'm wearing, it didn't even fit me then. It was really horrible. Okay, and I put on lots of weight. My skin didn't improve, but I gained tons. That's when I was 82 kilograms. When I reached 82 kilograms, finally my brain lit up. Okay, then I found out keto, and I'm very thankful to that, because keto taught me what is actually nutrients dense food, and it helped me understand what was wrong with my body. It was malnutrition, insulin resistance, anemic symptoms, hair falling, thyroid problems, and stress hormones, like the stressed stomach, stressed tummy weight, all that stuff. Anyway, then I fixed all my underlying issues through keto. Apart from anemia, I fixed it through carnivore. I think keto didn't help me that much in anemia, because most of the keto stuff, which is super healthy, like vegetables, green vegetables, leafy greens, they contradict with the iron absorption. I have made this video, my first ever video that came out, how I healed my anemia. Please be sure to check that out, and it will help you, it will open up your eyes. But overall, keto helped all of my concerns. Okay, keto restored my youthfulness. No, I'm just joking. Anyway, keto did help my skin suppleness to come back. It helped me to lose weight. It helped me with my belly fat, as I don't have that stress. I don't carry the stress around. And trust me, stress, the more you are stressed, the more you put on weight. And especially if you were a binge eater like me, then you will gain a lot of tummy fat because you are stress eating. Okay, one of the greatest things that happened to me is I got in control with my moods. I don't instigate any kind of arguments based on my emotions. If I feel PMS or anything like that, it's very important to be in control of your thoughts, in control of your emotion, and to decide what sort of action you need to take in certain circumstances. My flight and fight responses have been good, and I feel great, that I feel empowered. I feel that I am in control, and I am so happy in my relationship, and I think my partner will say the same exact thing, that I have changed so much. The second thing that is absolutely great is my monthly cycle is right on point. Okay, my Fitbit tells me, okay, you are supposed to have your cycle in this day, and your body clock actually matches with that, and it's not coincidental. I have been tracking it for months and months, and before I used to go off 1 week or 2 week off from my cycle, and obviously it's worrying when you don't have when you have irregular periods, and then heavy bleeding and everything. Heavy bleeding also, that happened because of the starvation that experiment that I did, and now I don't have it. I am so sorry, this video has gone far too long, but I wanted to involve every single thing. And last week I put this picture on my thumbnail and everyone kept on asking me what was that all about, and I wanted to put the story behind it, okay? And thank you so much for watching the video. I hope it was helpful, and I know it's relatable. Every one of us has gone through weight loss struggle and not managed it, or managed it and always like bounced back into your original square. Let me know what are your thoughts in it, and I will stop blabbering now. Please keep commenting, subscribing and sharing with your friends, and I hugely appreciate it. And be merry and be happy. I'll see you soon. Bye.